Hello, and welcome to our first video in Class A, that is, as an 1800 player, and I am barely there. This could be a very short stay in the 1800s, and I may have to go down and make a video back in our Class B series, that is, from 16 to 1700s again, because if I lose this one, I will immediately drop back down below Class A. But this is our first video, and we're very happy to be able to do it. We are playing a French as black, as you will recognize by now. I'm not going to change my style just yet until I quit raising up my rating. And if it stops working, then I'll stop doing it, right? The Rubinstein is a perfectly acceptable opening for blitz. It's a little bit passive if you're playing a long over-the-board game or something, but for non-standard games like blitz, and especially bullet or something, you don't have to memorize a lot. It's very solid, hard for white to find a lot of targets, and so that's what we're going to play for now. I do vary on that some, so for variety's sake, we may do some different things in the future. Most white players do pull back the knight here if they want a more complicated middle game picture and game. This c4 push is not really entirely unacceptable. I could have gone ahead and exchanged off that knight and then push c6, just kind of keep on being solid and everything, and then try to go for an attack on the d4 pawn, just pile up on it. But that's even slower. So, how slow can you go? I don't want to go so slow as to cause myself a big problem. And here I get the c5 push in here in just a moment. He can't really stop that. Okay, so he's going for a kingside attack, and he's just kind of being very methodical going about it. He is a Class A player, so you should expect him to be very solid. And that's exactly what he's doing. Of course, he would like to bait us, so to speak, into exchanging off. I like taking back there with a knight because it immediately puts a question on his bishop. What are you going to do with his bishop? And so he backs it up. Now here, let's check. Why? Just because we can. And then see if... why didn't he interpose with the bishop here and gain time on my queen? I can't really say. I don't know why he didn't. Okay. So we'll take an even more aggressive stance. With our knight here. This is probably tactically not working if he brings the dark square bishop up immediately. Although I do get to take with check. Questionable, but it could work. Alright, and here we have, what do we have? Here, okay. Alright, why doesn't he want to bring that bishop out? Oh, well, before it was dropping the pawn, I guess. Okay. Well, I don't know if that was that big of a concern. See, I can't move up in here because of the knight right there. So now the bishop move is more of a threat than it was before. So what are we going to do? We shall lose on time if we don't move. Okay. We got to get to doing something, Tim. Something must move. And I guess we'll just get a rook out on this. Yeah. And then now, I guess go all the way back here. Okay. So now what are you going to do, fella? All right, we got to make up some time here. Basically, it's a very convoluted center position wherein black holds a little bit of a space advantage and slight initiative. So I'm not very comfortable. Could have played that middle game a little bit better. Just basically played very novice-like fashion. Saw an opening and went for it. Okay. I don't have a lot of time to think about that one, so I'll just pull back for the moment because now I have my bishop trained on this square right here. I'm real tempted to pull this bishop back so I can park my knight right here where the bishop is, and then free up this dark square bishop to move in and do something maybe. Alright, I don't see exactly what that's headed to do, so I'm going to come up here and oppose his bishop. Alright, he says, so? And I'm like, well, yeah, that is a point. There's not much there. Alright, let's go back. If he wants to exchange bishop for knight here, that's perfectly fine. And he does. Okay. Now I'm dying to move this knight right here. And he's dying to block me and stop that. Okay. Sorry to make an annoying noise. What about if I go up here and attack that pawn? Because at the same time that threatens the freeing maneuver here, the push here, which I will now do. Sure. Let's do it. Oh wow, and he just bypasses the whole stinking thing. Can he get away with that? I don't know that he can. Oh, I see. Yeah, I guess he can for the moment. Alright. You got away with it. Alright, we're getting way down on time now. So, he's going to bring the bishop out finally over here probably. But now I can push the pawn. So he might bring his bishop up here first. If he does, I exchange it off for the knight. He could bring the rook over here and double on my knight pawn. But that blocks the bishop from getting in the spot. Okay. Here. Now I have different options. If he takes, I can take back. If bishop on g5 takes f6, I can take back that way. He doesn't want that. Alright, so we're going to go over here. I'm down to 32 seconds. I have to move almost immediately now. So concentrate, Tim. Concentrate. He's looking at the sack, which might work. Oh, and he didn't go for the sack. Wow, I think it might have worked. Alright, takes. It would after all that mess. Alright, let's go up here. Buttress our position with our own king. Alright, buddy. I'm down to 14 seconds, so I don't know what you're doing, but I'm fixing to move it. Big time. Every move. There's no time for anything else. Uh-huh. Now what, Budrow? Uh-huh. Good. Oh! Accidental checkmate! No, I'm sorry, and you won't let me talk to you in chat, so no more game. Wow! When I say accidental, I mean, of course, I'm trying to checkmate him, but I was down to half a second, and I didn't know I had time. And I'm sorry about the lack of comment there, but if you go back, you will notice that we're making tons of mistakes here because we're both trying to pre-move and get all this done. So there's no reason on deeply analyzing that. But once I had taken his rook and he was just trying to beat me on time here, then all of this was just instinct moving. That's all this is. He thinks he's going to go over here and win on time by shuffling his king, and then boom. Alright, if you go all the way back to the beginning of the game, I didn't like the position I got. Everything's fine up to here, and then when he pulls back, and then he plays the c4, I need to look up and see if bishop takes knight, probably go back with the queen here, and then up to c6 is playable. I know how passive it looks, but you see, by the c4 move, he immediately created a little problem right here on d4. So you all that play the Rubinstein, you might want to check that out and see if that's a playable thing. Alright, thank you very much. Click on subscribe if you happen to like it or are halfway interested and want to see some more. Thank you.